Hello. Hello.
Hani, you're talking to me?
Yeah, sir, this is more clear for you?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Angel. No problem at all. As long as you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you very clearly.
Because my iPad is at its full volume, so iske
No,
it's
very clear.
ठीक है.
So no issues at all.
ये जो earphone है काम नहीं कर रहा, तो पता नहीं what's happening. And यहाँ की lockdown के कारण नहीं जा पा रहे. I'm not able to go to the Mac guy and check it out also.
No, but I think this is fine. Yeah.
Do you know how many people are expected? आपको पता है?
नहीं, ऐसे तो मुझे नहीं पता है. वैसे maximum I think 100 आते हैं.
अच्छा.
100 are possible and they are having Facebook Live also.
अच्छा तो अच्छा.
उस पे भी होगा. And they are recording the session, so.
आप एक ही विनती आपसे, just keep time, Vaishali, please. अगर in case I don't want to overshoot or something, so just keep me. I know we have a lot of time, but nevertheless, just keep some idea of time. Maybe about close to 4. If I'm not done, just kind of chatting me or whatever, so that I know.
Yeah. So how do I tell you?
You can here on the chat. You can say it's 3:45 or 3. You can chat में आप. You can just kind of.
ठीक है.
तो यहाँ से पढ़ लेंगे इसमें क्या है.
ठीक है.
About 3:45, 3:50 is when you can kind of ping me or chat.
I'll do that.
Kind of if I go that far. So we'll keep 4 as cut off positively, not beyond that.
Yes.
So that gives people enough time to ask and whatever.
Yes. I am depending on Brinda if I goof up, because I am also a little new to this technology, online session.
Okay. But do you do a lot of your work online nowadays?
Yeah, I do. But then I'm never a host. I've not been a host before.
Okay.
I support, but I don't. Actually, I don't have a laptop, so I avoid doing it.
Achha.
But I think the tablet is working fine.
Yeah. Is Ahmedabad also completely locked down, or is there partial lockdown?
No, it's partial now. And but the cases we have a lot of cases, but now we are not getting the numbers, so it's like sab chalta hai. Things are just happening, so it's pretty chaotic.
But you are not able to move out of your home. You're bound, housebound.
No, we avoid going out except if required. But everybody is working. Like things have started now. It's not a complete lockdown.
Chennai is in complete lockdown till the 5th, surely.
Yeah.
I don't know, but people have to get back to working also, because kind of this alone is not enough. In at least you might have to meet somebody, talk to somebody. There's a difference between a physical contact, or at least face to face, against virtual. Some businesses you can operate, but sometimes particularly the behavioral work that I do requires one to actually see one person completely and experience one person, because the body says something, the face says something, and the eye says something. You don't get all of it and you watch it on the screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know what anyway, the future is very uncertain.
So you do some counseling work?
No, I actually don't do counseling. I facilitate. My background is basically applied behavioral work. So I combine many techniques. I do a lot of something called T group, which is a process of group dynamic. And then I'm a theater person, so I basically use something called psychodrama. I use drama in a not drama the way drama is, but in a way in the psychological sense. And I use something called Gestalt. So it's quite an amalgam. So it's basically a facilitation process to facilitate people look at deeper issues, look at relationships, look at visioning, a whole host of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And it therefore requires surely face-to-face kind of engagement, not thing. Because there is
Vishali,
no.
if you talk to Srinath for more than half an hour, तेरे को इतना confuse कर देगा तो मेरे को phone करेगी.
Ma'am, we can start.
Confuse कर दिया है, बचपन से confuse कर दिया है. He's a lovely person.
Yeah.
And we was all absolutely glued to the screens.
Very good.
So I'm just waiting to catch up with him.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I think we can get started.
Ajay, I'm fine.
I'll admit everyone. Yeah, I'm admitting everyone.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, this one. Circle the picture that is different. Circle the picture that is different.
Mom.
Yes.
I think you'll have to, before starting, ask everybody to mute their.
Yes. I'll mute everyone. Sir, you have unmuted, right?
Ajay, I'm unmuted. Yes.
Yeah.
Your screen is frozen, Vaisali.
Oh, is it?
Now it's okay. Now it's
no,
okay.
no, yeah.
So would you like to start so that we can kick off?
Yeah, it's 3. I think.
Everybody
I think
has come in according to Brinda.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yeah, please keep yourselves mute when we go through the session. And we'll now begin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As we begin today's session, I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of Down Syndrome Federation of India. I feel honored and humbled to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Dr. T.T. Srinath, who is a noted life coach and trainer. I'll first introduce you and go through his CV. Dr. Srinath has spent more than 3 decades as an entrepreneur and 25 years as a program facilitator. He is a highly qualified sensitivity trainer from India's most recognized body of applied behavioral science. He has a postgraduate degree in personnel management and industrial relations and has set up his own manufacturing plant. He also has intensive training in drama therapy, including sociodrama, soul drama, and psychodrama training from centers across the world. He has a PhD in entrepreneurial development, which has allowed him to refine his own training technique. His unique models and interactive psychodrama tools have been tremendously successful. It is our privilege today to have him with us for this session today on unlocking the lockdown, where he will help us to see how this lockdown has been a blessing in disguise. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Vaishali. One sec. And thank you very much, Rekha and Brinda and everybody else. I know that this is a new medium for me, so I will try and speak slowly. I know many of you are comfortable in Hindi, so but I also know थोड़े से लोग हो सकते हैं who may not understand Hindi, so I will speak as simple.
Hello, sir, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
So I don't know where I left. So I just want to say that I am aware that some of you will be comfortable with Hindi, some of you may not be. Therefore, I will be mindful. I will try to speak as simply as I can, because this is a new medium for many of us. Certainly for me, I request you, in case I'm a little fast, to please tell me so that I can slow down. Okay. So
Yes.
When Dr. Rekha asked me about talking to you about unlocking the lockdown, so मैंने सोचा कि why is it so important? And then I realized that there is something very significant. मैं जो आपको कह रहा हूँ, whatever I'm going to share with you is really about life, about you and me, about our role as parents to our children and as friends of other people in society. Basically, Ji, the stories like this, Ji, I am an actor, theater actor, and I had our drama troupe, which is the oldest English theater group in Chennai, in Madras. It's called the Madras Players. We'd taken a play to America, Ji, और वहाँ हम 10 cities में perform कर रहे थे between America and Canada. ऐसा हुआ कि we performed our first play, हमारी first drama हुई in Canada. उसके बाद हम अमेरिका पहुंचे. We reached Houston, then they announced the lockdown, which meant that the plays were all cancelled and we were all had to leave for India. ऐसे हुई कि हमारे जो co-actors थे उनकी they managed to get a connection on British Airways and वो चेन्नई आप पहुंचे. मैं और हमारे दो बंदे, we got stuck. And finally, we had to take a plane and landed on the 21st of March, the last day before the lockdown started, before planes into India were disallowed. तो ऐसा हुआ कि मैं दिल्ली पहुंचा करीब 11 बजे and 8 hours I stood in the queue, G, from the immigration to the doctor. I had to meet a doctor. वो क्यों मैं 8 घंटा खड़ा हुआ. I get to the doctor. डॉक्टर ने कहा कि आपकी उम्र 60 साल के ऊपर हो गई, so you are quarantined. तो मैंने कहा कि भाई साहब तो मैं घर पहुंचना है. You know, I've been, मेरी माँ is old, she's 87, उनकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है. Can I go? He said, मैं कुछ नहीं सुन रहा हूँ जी, आप नहीं जा पाओगे. You cannot go. You have to be quarantined. तो मैंने पूछा कि what does that mean? He said, पता नहीं जी, हमें भी पता नहीं है. We'll put you into some government accommodation. You will stay. You must to pay. तो उसके बाद 14 days, 14 दिन, they put me into an accommodation. Very, very difficult, G. It was like a prison. एक होटल में जमा दिया हमें. There was no, I was given, मेरी तबीयत भी ठीक नहीं है. I can't eat everything. तो कल सुबह they were giving you puri and potato. Lunch they were giving you मैदा, naan and paneer. रात को naan and paneer. कैसे खा सकते हैं जी 14 days continuously? Anyway, I ate that. उसके बाद lockdown हो गई. I could not leave Delhi. तो वहां से किसी और होटल गए. वहां 24 दिन, so almost 35 days I was stuck in Delhi, G, alone. No contact with anybody. No ability. Yes, phone was there, but उसके अलावा no contact. उसके बाद we got so, my director was also in Delhi. He was staying somewhere. His wife is also old. So we got police permission. एक taxi hire किए. 50 hours we traveled to Chennai, G, throughout the night. बिना खाना, बिना पानी. So it was really a tough, G. But jo 35 days when I was there, Naji, I started thinking, and my business, jo hum kar rahe, my work is basically consulting, G, human process mein consult karta hu. तो मैंने जब client को phone किया, I called many clients, सबने कह दिया कि hereafter you can't think of any work with us because my work is basically working with people. Because I have a theater background, I use a lot of drama techniques. Everybody said, I think you'll have to forget work. Pata nahi kab will give you work. So you wouldn't believe, Ji, within 2-3 days of my reaching Delhi, I realized that I had no more income, and this is my only source of income. I live on this. Very difficult. Ji. Akele the, khana nahi tha, caught here. In fact, Dr. Rekha was calling me every day and cheering me. Don't worry, you'll be taken care of. Trust your goodness. So all these 35 days, ji, मैंने बहुत सोचा कि what do I do with myself? What do I do with my life? I mean, I go back, I'm not on the right side of 60. At 60, nobody wants you anywhere to work, but I have to work. So I didn't know what to do. So I said, okay. Then I asked myself, what is it about me that I can still go back and not, think miserably about me? And this is really what I want to offer you, because I think you as parents also, and as people who are part of this whole, drama which is happening in the world, I think we can benefit from it. And what I'm going to say is not gyan or anything, Ji. I don't have that kind of knowledge, but I will share with you 5 things that I've learned, Ji, and I hope that ye jo main keh raha hu aapse, you will be able to use it in some way. The first thing I called them the 5 powers. The first thing I learned sitting there was the power of self-appreciation, Ji. I was asking myself, suddenly I realized that I don't know technology, I don't know anything. Then I said, okay, but what is it about me that is good? And I went over my life, Ji, over the last 60 years, and I realized that I've had many setbacks, Ji. I had a business which closed in 1919. I lost a lot of money. Then I had a business again which closed in 2000. So I realized that there were several things that set me back. My father was also, he was an alcoholic and he died very miserably. So I kept looking at all that and I realized that while all this has happened in my life, there is something good about me that has preserved me. So I wanted to really say, what is it about me that I can appreciate? And then I realized that when I look back over the last 60 years or 40 years that I worked, I realized that there are many things that I've done. I've helped people get married. I've helped people get jobs. I've helped people in crisis. And I started saying, so there is something good about me. So I realized that if I can start looking at what is good about me, then maybe somewhere the sense of sadness, the sense of desperation will go. And why I'm saying this to you, Ji, you might wonder, how does it relate to you? It does, Ji, because even as parents, I mean, you have your parents, so am I. There are many times we challenge in the sense that what do I do and why me? And there was a very interesting story I remember, Ji, which I wanted to share with you. The tennis player Arthur Ashe, you may have heard of him. He was he was the first Black American to win the Wimbledon. So ऐसा हुआ कि in the early 80s he won the Wimbledon. So and everybody praised him and said, great tennis player and all that. थोड़े साल के बाद he developed AIDS and he was dying. AIDS he developed because कुछ blood transfusion में कुछ गलती हो गई and he was given toxic blood and he developed AIDS and he was dying. So when he was dying, जब बिस्तर पर लेटे थे, somebody went and asked him, he says, Arthur Ashe, why has this to come to you? Such a good human being, you've done so much good. So he said something which has remained with me. He said, when I won the Wimbledon, I never asked God, why me? I took it as a gift. Why should I ask him now, why me? When the good happened, I don't ask why me. Why should I ask when something I think is not good happening, why me? So he said, I'm taking life in my stride. So I also realized that, I felt lousy, काम चला गया, माँ बूढ़ी है, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा. And I kept saying, why me? And then मैंने सोचा कि कितने पूछेंगे why me? So can I stop that and say, what is it about me that I can like? And so saying, why is it about me that this is happening? And I can assure you, Ji, if each of us can spend some time every day just looking at our lives and seeing the number of little good things we've done and appreciate ourselves, I'm sure somewhere we will start thinking differently. I have a request of each of you. आपके screen में अगर आप अपने ऊपर camera लगाओगे, just look at the camera for a minute, Ji. Look at the camera of yourself, just for a couple of seconds. Just look at yourself in the camera में देखिए अपने को. Okay. Now, I'm sure when you looked at the camera, you may have had a lot of thoughts. And I want you to be honest with yourself. You don't have to say it to me. But I'm sure when you looked at the camera, some thoughts may have gone through you. And I can tell you what went through me when I looked into the camera, which was like a mirror. The first thought that looked at me saying that Bude ho gaye, baal, you've lost your hair, you're looking tired. These are thoughts that crossed my mind. But really, G, when you look in the camera, does that camera tell you all that? I don't think it tells you that you become old, or it doesn't even tell you that you're looking handsome. It tells you nothing. It just tells you what you're wearing. It probably tells you I'm wearing a blue shirt, I'm wearing glasses. But the problem is, minute we look into the camera or like look into a mirror, the first things that come is we start talking to ourselves. Great if you say good things about you, but most often we'll all say, I'm not looking good, or I'm tired, or I've become old. And the immediate tendency for, at least I'm sure for guys is, I don't know about girls, guys who have hair, I don't have hair, but you guys have, is to take the comb, if your hair is completely disheveled, to take a comb and comb it. The reason is, the minute I look into the mirror, I first start seeing what's wrong with me. And that is the problem. The problem is, I tend to see what is wrong with me than what is right. I'm not saying we should not look at what is our growth side, but the fact is, can I first look at what is good about me? To the extent, G, when somebody comes and tells me, bahut log kehte hain, even after the speech, I'm sure 15 people will tell me that what you did wrong. So I'll stop them and say, pehle batao ki maine jo kaha, did it make sense to you? Is it impactful? Did you find value in it? If you have not found value, theek hai, but let me first hear that. Because if you can't tell me what is good about me, then I don't really want to know what is bad about me, because that I've heard enough. So can you first tell me, is there something about me that you see as positive? I mean, is it, if you don't, I'm not saying you should, but do you? And I often find that the problem with most of us, it happened to me a few days ago, G, I did a drama on Zoom, and my daughter was listening to it. She's in Singapore, and she called up and she said, Pa, you didn't look at the camera. I said, stop. I said, 1 minute. You're starting by telling me what I didn't do. Can you first tell me what I did? Because if you're only going to tell me what I didn't do, then I don't want to listen to it anymore, because I've already shut myself down. And this is what happens. The minute we look at ourselves, not with admiration, not with appreciation, we shut down. And this is true of children. Hamare jo children whom we love, can I not tell them what they're not doing? Can I tell them what they're doing well? Because what they're not doing is Allah jane yaar, karenge nahi karenge, but can I look at what they're doing well? So when somebody tells me, you're a good guy, I'll say, hang on, what do you mean by that? Because I don't understand. Tell me what is it you're trying to tell me, because then I will. So one of the things I've learned is the way to appreciate myself is not to say I'm a good guy and this or that, or to tell somebody appreciate you. But can I tell you, if I see a good, what is it about you that is touching me? Can I give you data? Can I give you an actual experience? When we can share experiences with each other, we become real to one another. If I can tell you what is it about you that touches me, then oh, this is what I did. So it gives you something. So the first thing I discovered for myself is the power of appreciation of myself. Can I start appreciating myself for who I am? Because as Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese poet, says, we are life's longing to be lived here. We are here because life wants us here. Yaar. I mean, I know we've had cases even recently of Ranveer Rajput. I know it's sad, but I'm saying we owe it to ourselves. Yaar, jab jana chale jayenge, but jab tak yahan hai, we owe it to ourselves, to people around us, to people who depend on us and who love us, कि हम अपने को मर्यादा दे, give ourselves respect and love. Because remember, yaar, जो अपने को नहीं करोगे, दूसरों को नहीं करोगे. If you cannot appreciate yourself, you cannot appreciate somebody else. Yeah, that's the law of life. What you do to yourself, you do to others. So first thing I discovered, I've said this before many times, Megha is here, she knows a lot about me, but I really, these 35 days, I said, I'm going to stop looking at what I'm not doing right and look over the last many, many years, what have I done right? And I can tell you, when I started looking at that, to a large extent, I felt a sense of some degree of relief. It didn't give me an answer, but I felt relief. So my request to each of us is, can we start in small ways? We don't have to boast. We don't have to exaggerate. But because when I say what is good about me, I tell my child, apne bhalai balao yaar, because I'm not in competition with you. Jab apne bhalai nahi bologe na, दूसरों की भलाई नहीं सुनोगे, because your mind cannot listen to it. The second thing I discovered, Ji, was the power of acceptance, Ji. Mujhe technology pata nahi hai. I don't know many things. So it's okay, because the minute I say I don't know none, I'm able to go and ask, Ji. If I think I know, I find it difficult to ask. And today I can assure you, Ji, because I have started saying, can I accept myself the way I am? Yes, there are a lot of things about me that are not good. There are things about me that are good. The minute I can accept myself for who I am, yes, there is opportunity to grow. There is opportunity to become, to change, to become what the world calls better. But the first thing is, can I first accept this is who I am? Because when I can accept who I am, I recognize there are things I know, there are things I don't know. And what I don't know, I can ask. And in asking you, मैं कोई कमी नहीं होता है जी. When I come and say that मुझे पता नहीं है, बताइए, I don't become any less, because my lack of knowledge is also my strength. Because to exist in a state of unknowingness is actually curiosity, जी. अगर मैं आपसे आके पूछूं कि ये बताइए मुझे पता नहीं है, there is curiosity. But अगर मैं समझूं कि मुझे पता, I will ask you in a way that is interrogating you. आप सोचिए, when you actually ask from a position of not knowing, you're curious because you want to know. But when you ask from a position that you think you know, it is always interrogation. You're always asking the other person to find out how much the other person does not know. I'll give an example here. Somebody called me to do a session on expectation sharing for a company. तो मैंने कहा कि बताइए क्या पूछ रहे हैं. The first question that lady said is, do you know about expectation? I said, I know what expectation means to me. I'll tell you what it is. आप बताइए कि सही है नहीं है. Then she said, ये किताब पढ़े, वो किताब पढ़े, ये किताब पढ़े. She asked me some 15 questions. तो उसके बाद मैंने रोका और कहा, मैडम आप जैसे आप पूछ रहे हैं, it is to find out what I don't know, not to find out what I know. Because if you want to hire me, if you want to engage me, do you want to know what I know, or do you want to know what I don't know? Because if you want to know what I don't know, there is much I don't know. So rishte mein bhi ji, as parents, when you see the child, is it what you want to know the child knows rather than what the child does not know? Because if you're only looking at what the child does not know, then there's enough the child does not know. Like you and I don't know a hell of a lot of things. And this COVID is a classic case. Kisi ko kuch pata nahi hai. The only thing that's going around is everybody's confused. But everybody is trying to tell everybody vaccine nahi hai, wo nahi hai. This point is, मैंने तय कर लिया कि मुझे पता नहीं यार, जो कह रहे हो सुन लेता हूँ. There is no question, because I don't know the answer. I can't even ask you a question. So the second thing is, can I accept myself the way I am? If I can accept myself the way I am, then asking doesn't become a fault. Asking does not become difficult. Asking does not make me any lower than the other person. And when I do it with my child, it is beautiful, because when I tell my child I don't know, there is a sense of discovery, because my child and I discover together. And I have a little nephew and a grandchild, in fact. And she was telling me about what she does, and she's only young, she's only about 7. So she's telling me many things. And after some time she said, you're not listening. I said, no, I'm listening. She said, but when you listen, you will ask questions, and you're not asking questions. That means you're not listening. So I realized the child was keen to know if I was curious. So I think whoever our children are now, if we ask them in a way that talks of curiosity, then I think the child will also know that we care. So when I learn to accept myself, I also learn to tell you that I care for myself, and I care for you, and I care for the relationship. The first thing I said was the power of appreciating myself. The second is the power of accepting myself for who I am. The third thing is the power of attitude, G. There's a lot which is going around, G, but there's a lot which is going right also, G. I mean, I know the lockdown is not easy, but sochiye na, you're probably spending more time with your children. You're probably doing things you want. You probably have a lot more time to exercise. Jo kar rahe ho. When I had this business, jab band hogi, I was talking to my friend, and I was telling her that kaam nahi hai, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. Then she asked me a question. She said, did anybody ring you up in these 5-6 days? I said, yeah, a lot of people called, like Dr. Eka. She said, people who have never called you before? I said, yes. What did they say? I said, they talked to me about, how I can take care of myself. And you wouldn't believe, those 35 days, people whom I've never talked to in years called me up, because they all knew I was stuck in Delhi. Somehow they had heard about it, so they called me. They were asking. And that lady said, there are so many people calling you up because they care for you. So many doors are shut, but some windows are opening. Are you willing to look at the windows that are open, or are you only looking at the doors that are shut? And I realized this is a question of attitude. There's a very nice story. I've shared it before in Chandigarh, and I'll tell you, maybe some of you remember, some of you don't. This is a true story. There was a volleyball player in England में, volleyball player था जी, और ऐसा था कि वो जब छोटे थे, वो 5 or 6, उनका एक हाथ चला गया in some accident. But he was very keen. किसी ने हाथ उठाया जी, कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं? Shilpa, Vaishali, somebody's raised their hand.
Sorry, sir, it is by mistake.
Achha, so we take questions in the end. Is that okay? Okay. I assume it's okay, Vaishali?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
In
So,
the end.
I was sharing this story. So this is a volleyball player. He was some David something his name. When he was very small, जब 5 साल थे, उनकी हाथ accident में चली गई. He lost his hand. But he wanted to play some sport. So बहुत मेहनत की. He tried to play all the games. सब में he was not admitted. But somewhere the volleyball coach, उनके घर में एक छोटा बच्चा था, who was also not well, who was disabled. So he felt a lot of affection for this boy. He took him on the volleyball team. This boy grew up, played very well, played for school, played for college, played for England. And in 1950s, early 50s, he captained England in the volleyball team. This was about 1980 or something. Now he's an old man. So he was sitting in a small restaurant, and somebody came to him and he said, sir, are you Sir David? He said, yes, I am. He said, sir, I believe you were the volleyball captain of the English team in the 1950s. He said, yes, I was, son. He said, sir, I am now playing for England. He said, very good. Why don't you sit down? Let us talk. So then the boy said, sir, I want to ask you a question. मैं एक प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूँ सी. So the old man said, पूछो दोस्त, पूछो क्या पूछने चाहते हो? He said, sir, आपकी तो एक ही हाथ है, कैसे खेले sir? It must have been difficult. So the old man हंस के कहते हैं कि नहीं बेटा, not difficult for me, difficult for people like you यार. मेरे पास तो एक ही हाथ है. I know I have no choice. I have to only play with that. You have 2 hands. You don't know which hand to play with. So I think it's about attitude, G. There is a lot of toughness, G. I've been having health issues. There have been huge issues around my own life. But question is, can I start looking at what is going right than what is going wrong? And I'm telling you again, over these 35 days, when I said, okay, this is going right, that is going right. And you wouldn't believe, G, I've written a couple of books. And the last book I released was 29th of February, by which time, after which the lockdown started. It's not selling. And what happened was, when I started saying to myself that maybe let me look at what's going right, a gentleman called me up and said, hey, I want 10 copies of your book. So I said, great. I said, when I come back to Chennai, I'll give it to you. He said, I want to pay for it. I said, do you really want to? He said, yes. So for my office, in spite of the lockdown, unke ghar paas mein tha, I went and gave, and he gave me a check for 3,300. You wouldn't believe, G, that has been the only bill I have made from April to June. Only bill, and I need a lot of money. I've only billed only 3,000 rupees, but then I billed. So the question is that if I'm willing to look at that 3,000 as a gift, as somebody helping me, then I think it helps. So request to you, G, is that, yes, things are going wrong, but can you look at what's going right? So the third thing is, what's the power of my attitude? The power of appreciating myself, the power of accepting myself, the power of my attitude. And the fourth thing that I've come to realize is the power of belief, G. What do I believe? What do I believe about myself? When I was doing my PhD, my PhD guide ne kaha ki, PhD is very simple. She said, it is about human beings. All of us make judgments. And we make judgments, and we either try to prove or disprove them. That is all a PhD is. You make a hypothesis, you go and prove it or disprove it, and say, this is life. So he said, if you believe this is what, and she said, it's so interesting. If you believe something, you will try to find answers for it. So if I believe you are good, G, I will actually look for answers to prove my good, because I want to prove that you're good, because that's what I believe. But if I believe you're bad, whatever you do, I will always find fault. So what do I believe? So when I apply to myself, what do I believe about myself? Do I believe I'm a good guy? Do I believe I'm competent? Do I believe I'm sensible? Do I believe I'm caring? if I do believe things, then I will look for evidence. And the first 5 days, I looked at all that. I believed that I was useless when people say they're not giving me work. And I will assure you, many phone calls came from clients saying, "Calm is stopped." But then I said, "Goli maro yaar, quieten your goddamn self. Sit down and tell yourself what's good about you." And you wouldn't believe, the next day calls started coming, people saying, "Can you do on Zoom? Can you do on this?" So I'm just saying, just a shift in the way I believe about myself made a difference. And I really realized that day that I may not be a great trainer or anything, but the fact of the matter is that if I start believing what is good, I automatically bring the energy required. So in our relationship with our children also, if I believe I'm good, I will ensure that goodness passes on to my child, because that's what I want the child to see. But if I believe I'm useless, I made a mistake, galti ho gayi, I've been, God has punished me, then that's what I will communicate. So what is it I believe? So this is something I realized. Another silly joke I want to tell you. There was this lake, एक तालाब थी और एक बंदे के पास एक कुत्ता था. So he was walking with this, and इसके पास एक बंदूक था. So he was walking with his dog near the lake, and suddenly he saw this ऊपर एक चिड़िया उड़ रही थी. So he shot the bird, and it fell into the water. And उसके कुत्ते पानी पर चढ़ के वो चिड़िया को पकड़ के, he brought it back and gave it to him. So this guy was shocked. He said, "Kamal ki baat hai yaar. I mean, I hit this bird, the dog walks on water, brings the thing back." So he said, "Yeah, this is something I must tell my friends." So अपने सब बंदे और फ्रेंड्स को बुलाए और कहा कि देखो मैं एक मैजिक कर रहा हूँ, आप देखिए बताइए क्या हो रहा है. तो एक सेम टाइम चिड़िया ऊपर गई, he shot it. His dog walked on the water, picked up the चिड़िया, brought it and gave it to him. Then he looked at his friends and said, "कुछ देखा? अचानक कुछ देखा, which is new." So his friends looked at him and they were looking at each other and saying, "कुछ पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है." And then one friend says, "हाँ यार, एक तो देखा है कि आपकी कुत्ता swimming नहीं जानती है." So the question is not looking at what was good about it, but looking at what the dog didn't do. That the dog is walking on water is unique. उसे नहीं देखा, but कह रहे हैं कि देख रहे हैं कि आपकी dog swim नहीं कर रही है. So the question is, क्या देख रहे हो? What is it you believe? And so the fourth thing I would realize is, can I start believing that there are things about me that are actually working? There are things about me that are good. And I read this story. My mother said this to me. I must share this with you. She said, a house is big. The door of the house is smaller than the house. The lock is smaller than the door. The key is smaller than the lock, but it is the key that opens the house. So I might be small, but if I believe I am important, then I become the key. So can I see myself? Because without that key, the lock, the door, the house mean nothing. You can't even enter. My mother told me this, and I thought it was so beautiful. She's 87, that she should tell me this, something I realized. And the final thought that I have, the final power that I thought was the power of thought. Now, what I want all of you to do is close your eyes. It's a fun game. Don't please get into it in a serious way and then curse me. Just close your eyes and put out your hand like this. Put out your hand like that. Close your eyes and put out your hand like that. And after you close your eyes, just keep telling yourself, this is a fun game. So please play it carefully. Close your eyes and say, I'm useless. I'm worthless. मैं कुछ लायक नहीं हूँ. Keep saying that to yourself. Just say it. And as you're saying it, put your left hand on your right hand and try and push. Keep saying it and push the right hand down. Close your eyes. Keep saying it. I'm useless. I'm not good. And just push your right hand down. Push your right hand down with your left hand. Right. Now, open your eyes and forget that. And now you will close your eyes. Put your right hand out firmly, and you will say, I am good. I am very good. I am excellent. All that you believe in yourself with strength. Keep saying it. Put your right hand out again. Close your eyes and say that you're good. You're very good. You're God's gift. Without you, this world is not what it is. Close your eyes. And as you keep saying it, try and push down that right hand. Did you notice that your right hand went down faster when you said, I'm not good, and did not go down when you said, I'm good, or at least resisted going down when you said you're good? Because When you say you're useless, you stop fighting. When you say you're good, you bloody well fight because you know you're good. That is the power of thought. The power of thought is the minute I tell myself I'm good, I will not give up. When I tell myself I'm not good, I give up. So really, it's not about what other people tell you, it's what I tell myself. Because what people say is what they say, man. For them, it doesn't matter. What do I tell myself? What do I tell myself? Do I tell myself I'm good? It's a very interesting model, which says ultimately it is mind over mood. It is mind over mood. If what the mind tells you, the mood changes. You notice for yourself. If you're feeling lousy, if you're thinking lousy, if you're saying I'm not good, immediately you feel sad, you feel lousy, you feel terrible. Just shift that and say I'm good. Automatically your mood becomes better. That's why the Buddhists talk about distraction. What do they say? If you're depressed, watch a comedy film so that it changes your mind. The minute your mind changes, the minute your thought alters, and it's not rocket science, G. It is simply just taking care of yourself, being compassionate to yourself, being loving to yourself. That I value who I am. I owe it to myself that I cannot allow myself to have thoughts that deplete me, that reduce me. Remember, I am here because life wants me here, and I have no goddamn right to reduce myself. My child is here because my child wants me. I have come here because I owe that child a relationship, and I'm there for that child. I cannot disappoint that child. It is my responsibility to that child and to life that I'm there for him or her. And if you can tell yourself that, the child becomes a gift, you become a gift to the child. But as long as you don't tell yourself that, you will continue to feel lousy. And ultimately, it is you who feel lousy. Nobody else. Everybody else is doing what they want here. You and I only feel lousy because they don't give a damn about you. As I asked when I do these programs for young IT companies, I ask these youngsters, I said, how many times have you held your wife's hand? Many of them say, nay, yes, no. But before you got married, yes, we held her hand. What happened after marriage? Nahi yaar, shy lag raha hai, I say, shy lag raha mane, nahi, kya kuch kahenge log, if you hold. So I said, actually, people will feel jealous of you, yaar, because they'll say, actually, you're holding your wife's hand, they're not able to hold it. The question is, we are more worried about what people think about us than what we think about ourselves. Yes, what people think about us is important, but it's certainly not more important than what you think about yourself, man. And if I think I'm lousy, Henry Ford said, if you think you're right, you're right. If you think you're wrong, you're also right, because both you're only saying. So the question really is that, what do I think? So these 5 things, and I'll tell you, G, in these 35 days, and I owe a lot to Dr. Rekha, because she actually held me together, spoke to me, talked to me. We've grown up together as and I've virtually grown up in her house. And for those 35 days, every day she called and say, no, what's the good thought? Tell me one good thing you did today. Did you have your breakfast? Yes. Did you eat well? Yes. Did you sleep well? Yes. I don't want to listen to anything else. Keep the phone down. So I realized that over 35 days, and you wouldn't believe, G, that journey we undertook from Delhi to Madras, 49 hours, G. What happened was, I went to the police commissioner. I said, pass chahiye Madras jana. He said, main Delhi mein de dunga. Agar aap Delhi se UP jaoge to pata nahi hoga. Bas Bhagwan par, maine bharosa rakh ke we came. Jhansi we got stopped. Andhra we got stopped. Telangana we got stopped. Everywhere we got stopped. Everywhere they harassed us. But somewhere ghar pahunchna hai. Bas that was the intention. And 49 hours we came back to Chennai. People say, kaise aaye? Kaise aaye? Pata nahi, aa gaye. The fact of the matter, the minute you tell yourself you can, Naji, you will. So the 5 things that I just want to say again is, number 1, can I start appreciating myself? And again, you might say, how does it relate to me as a parent? Yes. The minute I can appreciate myself, I will encourage my child to appreciate himself or herself. Simple. Because when I say I'm good, I'll say, batao beta, what is bhalai kya usme? Because otherwise you will feel guilty that you have called yourself good. So you will at least encourage the child to say what's good. So first thing is, can I appreciate myself? Number 2, can I accept who I am, the way I am? Much I don't know. My vulnerability, jo main samajhta hu, vulnerability is not my weakness, it is my strength. When I know I'm vulnerable, I will ask for help. Don't we do it, yaar? Kuli ko poochte hain, yaar baksa nahi utha sakta hu, uthao na. Because we feel we are vulnerable. And the older you are, it happens. when you're going somewhere, you ask somebody to take your bag, not because you want somebody to do it, because you feel मैं नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, दोस्त ये उठा दो यार, मेरे लिए वजन है, मैं नहीं उठा पा रहा हूँ. And that is your vulnerability, but you don't feel shy to ask because you accept the fact that I can't carry it. बहुत है यार, मैं नहीं पका, I can't carry 50 kilos. आप थोड़ा उठाइए ना. So when you again accept the fact that you cannot carry weight, why is it you cannot accept the fact that you don't know? Both are the same. It's just a question of one is a weight, one is a thought. So number 2, can I accept who I am first? And when I can accept myself the way I am, I will learn to ask. And when I learn to ask, I will get help. Number 3, can I recognize the power of my attitude? Can I look at the number of windows in my life that are opening out? And remember, guys, windows always open out. They never open in. If I open a window and it opens out, I start seeing the world. If I put a curtain, I can only see what's inside. So can I open a window and look at the world rather than looking at what is closed, the door closed? Number 4, can I believe in myself? Can I believe I'm good? Can I believe, and some of you who may have seen the film Sound of Music, there's a lovely song which Julie Andrews sings. She says, in my childhood, I've done a lot of wicked things, but somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. That's why somebody loves me. And if somebody loves you, it's because you've done something good. So can I believe in my own goodness? Can I believe? And when again, how does it relate to me as a parent? When I appreciate myself, I tell my child to appreciate himself or herself. When I accept I don't know, I encourage my child who does not know or she does not know to learn more. When I believe that I'm good, I will help my child see her or his own goodness. When I start recognizing that I have to see what is open, not closed, the attitude, then I help my child see what are the good things about him or her in her life and what is not good. And finally, when I tell myself that what I think determines my mood and I want to think positively, I will encourage my child also to say, ho gaya na, chhod yaar, kal kya karna karenge, chhod, iske baat nahi hai, let's forget it, let's talk about what's tomorrow, because life is lived forward, not backward. And that is the point. I want to play you 2 lines of a Hindi song. It's an old Hindi song, just 2 lines. And then I'm done. Vaishali, we can take questions. I'll just play you 2 lines, Ji. Please listen to it. I know again and again, मैंने बहुत हिंदी में बात किया. I've not spoken in Tamil. Please excuse me. But ये मेरे लिए 2 lines सुनिए भाई साहब, please. Just want you to hear these 2 lines. हाँ जी, तो मैं लगा रहा हूं, सुनिए जी. So that's it, जी. गम के अंधेरी रात में बेकरार ना कर अपने दिल को, सुबह तो जरूर आएगी. हमारे लिए तो आई है, 35 days के बाद आ गई, आपके लिए जरूर आएगी जी. बस that's all I have to say. तो आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हो, कुछ कहना चाहते हो? वैशाली, you can take over, please.
Yes. Someone has raised his hand. VP.
Yes.
You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Srinath sir, it was a pleasure to listen to you in Chandigarh. It is an experience, and the same continues even today. This is Vicky. I'm from Bombay, and I mean, sir, I just would like to, I don't need to say anything because you have said a lot of things, which is, all the parents are able to really, touch on the thread, carry that thread and take it forward. But I would just want to ask you, sir, at times, though I'm, pretty content, comfortable and everything, but yet at times, you feel a sense of, when you want to introduce your child to someone else, or the surroundings, or the new surroundings, or anywhere, like if you are take to a school or anywhere, at times we feel a reluctance to how to introduce, in the sense, is she a Downs, is she a trisomy 20, is it so important to divulge to anyone who comes in contact with the kids? Yeah, that is my, I'm not able to put the question so elaborately, but this is the question I would like to, a query, or a lot of, yeah. Please, sir, if you could help
So
me.
if I understand your question, of course, how I've understood your, can I tell you how I've understood your question?
Please do, sir. Please do, sir.
So मैं क्या समझ रहा हूँ, आप क्या पूछ रहे हो कि that I am content, I am happy with my child, but ऐसा होता है कि sometimes when I go somewhere and I have to introduce my child, I don't know how to do it, and I feel a little reluctant to how do I introduce the child to that person, saying that the child is like this, and that is that sometimes causes me pain, and maybe sometimes I feel shy or uncomfortable. Is that your question?
Not pain, not shy, but a little bit, uncomfortable could be said, that because I don't know whether is it so important to put across, because if I don't put across, then people might not understand the importance, or my child's little vulnerabilities, or the challenges the child is facing, and if I tell them, then I'm already making her vulnerable to everyone's perception.
So obviously what I hear you ask is, what I want to introduce my child, but what kind of language, what kind of words can I use? Is that the question again?
Not really. I don't see. It's not about what words do I choose. It's like, I'm sometimes it's an internal question which I ask myself. Hey, should I do this? Should I go out and tell her, no, my child is this and blah blah blah? Should I open up about my child's challenges, or should I let it be and let people, if at all they are interested in asking, then ask, or if not, let them go, let them live their life, and let me and my child live my life.
Good. What is your name? I've forgotten your name.
Vicky.
Vicky, you just said, should I introduce my child? Should I do this, right? You said you use the word should, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did use that.
Suppose you now say the same thing, says, could I introduce my child? Could I? If you just say the same words and see, you use the word should, change the word should to could and see how it sounds for you. Just say it to yourself.
Yeah. Could I introduce my child? Could I introduce my child? Yes, sir. I understand what you're pointing at.
Do you see a difference?
Yes, sir.
The difference is really in choice, Vicky. If you believe, and again coming back, if you believe your child is special and your child is somebody you love for who he or she is, the choice is yours. The point is how the other person is going to take it or not is really not of concern at that point. Of the question is, what is it about me that I believe in my child and about my child that I would like to celebrate, that I would like to acknowledge, that I would like to make the world realize the beauty that is in us, Ji. Because the minute I say should I, there's a lot of compulsion, pressure. There's no pressure, Ji. It has happened to me so many times. I mean, my grandchild, somewhere I'd go, sometimes I introduce her, sometimes I don't. And then she turned and said, you haven't introduced me. I'll say, I'm sorry. Sometimes she said, why did you introduce me? When you introduced me, that uncle asked me also the wrong question. So the question is, there is no should. Question is, can I? Right. And if I do it, consequences are what people say, or am I proud of my child? And if I'm proud, it doesn't matter what you think. This is the way I look at it. I may not have the answer, Vicky, but this is the way I look at it. That. If I believe in my own pride and the pride of my child, it doesn't matter what I say or how I introduce my child. This is my child, and This is the choice I make of how I want her to meet the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks. Thanks.
I
Sir.
hope it's making some sense, Vicky.
I know, sir. I know. I mean, you have tried your best, and it is definitely making sense. Only thing is like, it is for me to experience it, and me to really, yeah, experience is the right word, I would say.
Actually, Vicky, the point I'm making is, it's really about us, Vicky. It's not about the child. The minute you are able to accept the fact who you are, then accepting everybody else, the child, everybody. The challenge is not for you introducing the child. The challenge is for you about yourself, Vicky. What is the image that I carry of myself? How do I want people to see me? How do I want?
Right.
These are things that I carry within myself, which affects the way I present myself to the world. And because this is the way I present myself, all that I present affects me. So my request to you, Vicky, can you start looking at so much about you that you've got that you can cherish, man? If you can
Yes,
look
sir,
at that. See, also what I'm hearing in our voices now, Vicky, we think we are on probation. Yeah, we think we are on probation to the world. We are not on probation. We don't have to prove any goddamn thing to anybody in this goddamn world. I am not here because of you. You're not here because of me. My child is not here because of you, not because of me. Khalil Gibran says, your child is through you, not because of you. Remember.
Right.
So
Right.
I am not on probation. My child
Precise.
is not on probation. I have nothing to prove to anybody in this world. You have nothing to prove to me. You are you, I am I. This is it. Yes, calm mein you have got task and all that. All that is different. But as a human being, I don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Yeah. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Truly those. If you can just tell yourself, do not have to prove anything. This is who I am. It happens here. Hamare ghar mein people say, you speak out of turn. I say, this is who I am here. I mean, when people think, I crack jokes, I'm spontaneous, I run around. Sometimes they think I'm behaving far less than I should. And I said, Goli mare yaar, life is short. Yaar, aa jayenge, kal chale jayenge. After tomorrow, it doesn't matter whether I'm laughing or not. So I don't want to prove anything. I can't. If I start proving to you, I'll fall flat here. Because I can never prove to you, because your expectation might be all over the world, and I can never match it.
Right, sir. Right. Absolutely. Thank you,
Neither
sir.
can my child. My child is who she is.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Srinath, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Anything you want to share? You can unmute and share.
Please, I'd love to hear some voices. Kuch boliye na yaar, kuch keh rahe hain. As it is, the medium is stuck. I'm looking at you like I'm looking at a film. And talk to me. It'd be nice to hear some voices here. Hey, my dost Meghna, you're sitting there and not talking, man.
Meghna?
She won't talk now. She'll only talk when she's offering courses to CA students.
Okay, anyone else? So you have really
Bindu, yeah.
put everyone. Yeah, Bindu, come on. Unmute yourself, please. Bindu? Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the wonderful session, sir. And
Hanji?
yes, am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
you
ahead. Go
continue.
ahead.
Yeah. Just thought a little bit about it. Your session was wonderful, and your way, whatever you said in this session, it sometimes I think that your words really encourage us in many ways. Because just now you told that whatever I am good. That feeling really matters for us. Whenever I am introducing my child to this world, whenever I go to park, I first introduce my child with a very proud feeling that this is my child. She has a Down syndrome. You have to adjust with her. So yes, sometimes I feel in this world as a mother, I'm sometimes I lag some ways, or you can say some feelings, because upbringing a normal child and upbringing a special child, both are different in some ways. Sometimes I feel like as a mother, um, some feelings, some low feelings are coming sometimes when when I think that my child should do this in a proper manner or a proper way, but I don't see the results. So sometimes I feel a little bit low. In that situation, how should I boost myself? You can say like this.
Bindu, I can only share my truth. First of all, I think let me accept the fact that sometimes I feel low. Yaar. I mean, see, there is a beautiful saying: "What I resist, if yes, I am feeling low. I don't have to tell everybody. I don't. दूसरों की कोई कहने की जरूरत नहीं कि I'm feeling low. But मेरे मन में there is sadness. I do have my issues. But the minute I accept it now, then I stop fighting with it. Then after that, what I say, there's much more energy, because the problem is when I don't accept that I'm feeling this, I'm feeling sad, I resist feeling that. And my learning in life is that, okay, yaar, I am feeling lousy. I am feeling sad. I've been let down by God. I do feel, okay, right. So what? Now what do I do? And the minute I tell myself that, then I have the energy to say, "ठीक है, हो तो ये बोल दिया ना, I'm feeling lousy. Now what can I do?" It doesn't help me to continue like that. But the minute I am unable to accept or unable to acknowledge to myself, मेरे अंदर क्या हो रहा है, क्या खुजली हो रही है, क्या भावना पैदा हो रहा है, क्या महसूस कर रहे हो, then I start fighting. And the civil war, Bindu, is not outside. Yeah, civil war is inside. Yeah, अपने अंदर है. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि अच्छी नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. जब मैं वो कहता हूँ this is not good, that's how it should be, then I'm prescribing. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ऐसा होना चाहिए. ये बताइए जी, ये कोविड हो रहा है. Does anybody know? Nobody knows. तो मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ कि the point is this, that I want to tell you a very interesting story. Yesterday I read कृष्णा भगवान ना एक छोटा बच्चा था और माँ बहुत गरीब थी. And boy had to go to school every day. He was going through the forest and डर रहा था, बहुत छोटा बच्चा था. तो माँ ने कहा कि ऐसे करो कि तुम घर से चलोगे ना, कह दो कि एक कृष्णा भगवान मेरे साथ चलो यार. तो boy was going to school every day and he used to come and say, आज मेरे साथ कृष्णा भगवान आए. It was his birthday. And he said, माँ स्कूल में सब कुछ दे रहे हैं अपने बर्थडे के लिए, मैं कुछ नहीं दे पा रहा हूँ. She said, मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है बेटा, कृष्णा भगवान से पूछो कि कुछ दे देंगे, तू ले जा. तो वो जाता है स्कूल में, कृष्णा भगवान उनको एक दूध जग देता है. तो the boy takes to school and tells the teacher मेरी जन्मदिन है आज, मैं दूध ले आया हूँ, सबके लिए बांट लीजिए. So teacher first she says क्या दूध के साथ क्या, she kind of looks at him very funnily, but then glass सब ले आते हैं, she keeps pouring and the jug never gets empty, keeps on coming. Then she says, किसने दिया यार तुम्हें ये जग? Then the child says, कृष्णा भगवान ने दिया. Then she says, क्या जोक मार रहे हो यार, कृष्णा भगवान कुछ नहीं है, भगवान नहीं है, ये खामखा झूठ बोल रहे हो, मुझे दिखाओ ये कहाँ है कृष्णा भगवान है. Then she says, चलिए जी मेरे साथ. So they go to the forest and the boy calls out and says, कृष्णा भगवान आओ ना, मैं टीचर मिलना चाहता है. He never comes. The teacher says, see, मैंने कहा ना तुमसे कि भगवान नहीं है, तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो. Then there is a voice which says, यार दोस्त, जब वो महसूस नहीं करते, when they don't believe I am there, मैं कैसे आऊं यार? When they don't believe I am there, how can I come? So the question is, if you believe na yaar, that your child is God's gift, that I am okay the way I am, then you will show signs of that, Bindu. Till you tell yourself that, ये जो झगड़ा हो रही है, जो लड़ाई हो रही है, आपके अंदर हो रहा है यार, तकलीफ है यार, but मैं आपसे विनती करता हूँ कि accept that civil war, that is real. कुछ कर पा रहे हैं हम, कोविड कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे. Many of us have accepted, यही हमारी सच्चाई है, this COVID is going to continue. The more and more you think of vaccine coming, this is coming, it only causes stress on us. Now we are saying, हो गया, till they find vaccine, we have to live our life. कैसे कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना. The minute you accept ना, what you accept transforms, what you resist persists. So my request to you, Bindu, is acknowledge to yourself, yeah, dukhi hai, but you don't have to tell the world. The minute you tell yourself that, you'll automatically feel liberation, because you acknowledge that मुझ में दुख है. That दुख is true यार, सब में दुख है यार. मुझे कोई, आपको इस किस्म की दुख है, मुझे और किस्म के दुख है यार. मेरे घर में भी There might be other issues. My mother is old and she's constantly saying something, she's arguing, and she's slowly becoming irritable. That's also in some ways difficult for me. I'm the only child. But if I don't acknowledge that I'm pained, I can't go on with that conversation. Does it make sense, Bindu?
Bindu?
Not hearing.
Yes, correct. Thank you very much for your wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Vaishali, I have something to say.
Yes.
Srinath, there are two issues here, and I'll give you two very beautiful instances that happens with when you have a lot of people with Down syndrome floating around you. So we were going in a van, and the van was full of persons with Down syndrome, and people from the street kept pointing their hands at these children and laughing. One of the girls in the van turned around and looks at me and says in Tamil, "Iva ellarum paithyama," which means, are they all crazy? See, it's a way of looking at each other. What I think is different to the persons with Down syndrome, we are all different. And they look at you and say, you must be crazy because you are looking at me differently. There's another very beautiful thing that my daughter taught me. And in the airport, everybody would be looking at her. And you know, Bubbly doesn't have that much vision, but she knows that somebody is looking at her. So she turned around and said, "Ma, there's only one reason why people look at me. It's because we are beautiful."
Fantastic.
Everybody looks at beautiful people. And I think it's a confidence that they have that we don't seem to have. They are not embarrassed because we are the parent. My daughter has taught me that. Suppose it takes me 2 minutes to turn around and say, "I wish you were not my mother," and somebody else was my mother. What would you do? Why is it that you look at your children as a pain? They are finding you the most painful things in this universe. Honestly, my daughter keeps telling my husband, "I wish you would change." Because when you keep correcting them, they don't like it. When you keep faulting them, like you said, first assess yourself before you assess anybody. Anybody. Everybody is here to offer us something. Take that little bit. And it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world that we are living. And I tell you, all these parents will realize it because my daughter is 40 today. And I have lived a beautiful life. And I know that beauty. And I want every parent to realize that beauty lies in knowing something that might not be what they call normal. I don't like normal. I like what Bubbly is. And she has always kept me energized, just like you do, Srinath. Thank you, Srinath.
And so the last thing is the unlocking of the, there's topic here, unlocking the lockdown. Unlocking is not outside, the unlocking is inside me. So if I unlock what is inside me, lockdown nahi hoga. I think that's the answer. So I think that's
Okay, we go to the next question. Ashima Sharma. Can you unmute and ask?
Hi, Srinath. This is Nandan here, Ashima's husband. Our boy is 14 years old. Just a professional related question, something to what Vicky was asking some time back.
I can't hear you. I can't. It's not. Can you say again?
Not very clear.
Can you ask the?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, हाँ बोलिए जी.
So मेरा question थोड़ा सा professional life के concern है. So lines of what Vicky was asking. You know, often, earlier in my career, when Ram was born, when I took up a job, sharing that with my office colleagues had two effects. The first was, of course, sympathy, and people really wanted to, which we all liked, and that was in some way comforting. But at the same time, as a professional, it also hindered my own growth in a sense that people probably think that having a special child, you can't devote much of your time to work and all. It helped out a bit. So after I have worked somewhere for a few years, learned my next instinct in the new job is not to really share it in the immediate vicinity of your bosses, or probably something where it can have a negative impact on your growth. But you keep having a bit of guilt feel that you actually share with them at some point in time of your career. How do you balance it? Yes, of course, I'm talking of, if you're in the probably US or the Western world, things are very different. मैं सिंगापुर में हूँ, still यहाँ पे बहुत Asian influence है, where people start deriving about their future as well, based on their children. So how do you kind of put some more light into this?
The way I understand your question is, you're saying that when I initially used to share with a lot of pride, people showed me sympathy. That's the word used, right?
Yeah, sympathy.
Hello?
Yeah, they were more helping, that kind of thing.
And then, but slowly what happened as my career progressed, they started saying that you cannot give so much attention to the job because you have this challenge. That's what you heard. And it is, and you think that it is may have affected your progress. Is that the question you asked?
They never spoke, but in their as a decisions and all, that probably used to linger in the back of their minds, which I could read and feel. So now what I do is I don't really share that very openly in the beginning. Let it settle till we get close to the people around, and then gradually we kind of share around. Is there a better way to handle it?
I haven't fully heard you because the sound was on. But the question I see you asking is that how do I share? Is that the question you are asking, so that I don't feel any less and it doesn't impact me? Is that what you're asking?
Very right. Very right.
So basically, see, I don't know how to answer your question because I'm not very competent, but I can tell you this. The minute you talk, see, there is a violent way of sharing and there's a non-violent way of sharing. Non-violent is with compassion, and violence is absent without compassion. What is violent? Violent is when I share it with judgment, when I share it with, for instance, let me give an example. Now, I'll talk to you about myself. Okay, my mother, she is 87. She's old, but she insists on going with me wherever I go because she thinks she can't stay at home and she wants to go out. Now, what happens is when I take her outside and to a party or something, and she insists on going and picking up food, she's stumbling, but she'll insist on doing that, and it is very embarrassing. And people start becoming sympathetic. They come and hold her hand and this and that, and I get completely frustrated because it kind of, first I feel small. Second thing is it affects me because I am not able to, I want her to be independent, but I'm not able to do that. This is what happens to me. Now, how have I learned to handle it? Simply the fact of the matter is that I have, when people come and tell me this is it, they show sympathy, I receive it with grace. And if for some reason they start feeling pity for my mother, I ask them, what is this doing to you? Where is this pity coming from? So I'm not making a like-to-like comparison. So if somewhere you think that people are judging you or assessing you and your progress is dependent on the challenges you face, I think it is important that you confront it. How do you confront it? Is the minute you sense it that somebody is assuming this or thinking, is to ask them, what is it you're carrying in your mind about me or about my family that is affecting you? I would like to hear it, and if I can hear it, I can share with you. Because the minute you confront them, and not confront again in a negative way, confront with compassion, so care front, if you can confront. Because the point is the point is all these things that you are saying, you may have heard it. It is because I have never gone and asked them. I heard you said this about me. I believe you think my progress is affected because you think I can't travel, I can't do this, I can't move. Is this what you said? Is this what you've said about me? May I hear what you're saying? And I'm not going to justify or explain, but I'd like to hear what you're saying, and I'd like you to hear my side of the story. The minute you can do that, you will show courage. The minute you don't do that, you're allowing somebody else to determine your life. Again, let me say this to you again. I come from a big business family, and every customer of mine is doing well. I am on the wrong side of it. I'm considered the black sheep. But I have stood up for myself. If people say that, you've not done well, I say, what is it you're trying to tell me? Tell me. No, you're a very soft guy. You really can't take this. Tell me. Tell me what I've done. Give me data. And I've actually been able to tell people, not in a way that is aggressive, but tell them, perhaps what you're assuming about me is not completely right. Some have changed, some have not, but people have changed, have truly embraced me, those. So my request to you is, can you confront them? Because if you don't confront them, you are forced to confront yourself. And when you confront yourself with the way you do, you'll only confront yourself in a way that is negative. Confront, if you experience, first of all, when people are sympathetic to my mother, I first come and say, does she need your sympathy? Is there something, do you feel love for her? Then tell her that. Instead of feeling sorry, I come and hold your plate. No, it doesn't help those. Sympathy does not help. Empathy is the word, but then it's a big word. But my question is, please confront the truth. Please ask people, this is what I hear you say about me. This is what I've heard. Is it true? What are you saying? I'd like to hear it. If he cannot tell you that, either you change him or you change the environment. Yet, if you do that, and then people listen to you, I can assure you the tide will turn. This is my promise to you, and I can assure you it has happened to me once, twice, thrice. And I tell you, if you confront people with what you hear them say, they will actually back off or really genuinely listen to you. And if they listen to you, they will change. Because if I listen to you with understanding, it is very likely my point of view will change. That is the truth of life. If I really listen to you with understanding, my position in life will change, because I have understood where you're coming from. And this is your trial. Are you willing to submit yourself to confront your truth? That is your challenge. Challenge is not sympathy or empathy. Challenge is, can you confront your truth? And my truth is, can I ask them, this is what I hear you say. I want to hear it from you. And again, comes back to, if I appreciate myself, if I value myself, if I value my child, if I believe I'm good, if I believe I'm competent, all evidence will be available to me.
Right, thanks. I think you said the right thing. And I just want to add some more point that what I off late learned, and especially after being in touch with the group and Rekha Ma, I think one of the very important things to learn in life is that when you're discussing these things, what tone you present, that how you share it. I believe in the beginning, when the boy was very young, I think I was doing a lot knowing. Probably I was more defensive when I was introducing, but now in the last few years, if anyone asks, I tell it with pride and a smile on my face, and new challenges. So it doesn't have to be a very defensive way or a way where people start sympathizing. But it's when you say it with the confidence, and it's like as normal as it can be for me, then I see a better approach. So that's also learned in my last 1 or 2 years, especially.
Basically, please let us not start feeling sorry for ourselves here. The minute we feel sorry for ourselves, we've given up. We don't have to be apologetic about who we are. This is who we are. This is the reality of the world I live in. You want it, to take it. You don't, it's your goddamn problem. My problem is, this is who I will not say sorry for being alive. Otherwise, I'll say sorry because I'm alive, and this is crazy. I mean, I can't keep apologizing for everything that life does here. I mean, who the hell am I? I've got my own life to lead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We can go to the next question. Sonia Mida has asked one question. I'll read it out, sir. Sir, this time in lockdown period, I am only facing the problem with my typical child, not with my girl with Down syndrome. If I say or instruct anything to him, he does not want to listen to me or say that you do the same thing and I'm tired to listen to you. Somewhere I started thinking that yes, he is right. And from next day, I'll not say anything to him and even not talk to him. But how can I see him by doing wrong things? So I am stuck in between both conditions. Should I say him anything or should I stop myself? That's from Sonia.
What do I say? The question is, so many shoulds, so many wrong, right? Question is how. So when you start saying, should I do this? Should I do that? You see, first of all, the question is, if do this to yourself, Sonia. Suppose you are a child of 4. Suppose a child of 4 is standing in front of you. Ek kavita bolo to that child of 4. Just try and say it. Just say it. Just try it out, Sonia. Just say it. 2 lines. Say, Baba Black Sheep. Just tell the child. समझो कि आपके आगे एक छोटा आपका बच्चा 3 साल का बच्चा है. उससे you want to say Baba Black Sheep. Say it now. Quickly, just say it for yourself. Try it out. Okay. Now, imagine you're saying the same Baba Black Sheep to a 50-year-old adult. Say it. Do you see a difference? A child say to a child. Bindu, Sonia, is there a difference? So I hope anybody else who's done it, is there a difference? Unless I hear a voice, I won't know.
You can unmute and give your answer.
Anybody here? Mr. CVK. बताइए जी, is there a difference when you say 3 साल के बच्चे को जब बाबा ब्लैक शीप बोलोगे और 50 साल के मर्द को बोलोगे बाबा ब्लैक शीप, फर्क है उसमें? हाँ जी?
Yes.
क्या फर्क है? 3 साल की और 50 साल में क्या फर्क है दोस्त? बताइए ना.
You'll have to unmute. Huh.
It will be a little, for the 50-year-old man is a little very different question. Maybe, I mean, if he decides to answer, he will start looking at things in a different perspective.
ना जी, my question is very simple. आप बाबा ब्लैक शीप बोल रहे हो, जब 3 साल के बच्चे को बोलोगे और 50 साल के, उसमें फर्क है बोलने में? आप बोलने में उनको छोड़िए, आप जो वैसे बोलोगे फर्क है ना?
फर्क है.
हाँ, वही तो बात है. तो अगर आप जब बच्चों के साथ बोलोगे, if you can get down to that child's mind and उसके अंदर क्या खुजली हो रहा है अगर पता चलोगे, it will automatically change. There is no solution. The question is, आप what is happening to you is आप अपने स्थान से बच्चे को देख रहे हो और कह रहे हो कि should I correct, should I not correct? As long as you are parent and that is child, there is always going to be that difference. As long as you are child and child, the transaction will be complementary. So can I do that? Because what is happening within that child that is causing that child to do what she is doing or he's doing is the child's reality. But am I willing to listen to the child, or am I wanting to take a position of parent, a critical parent, and say, "Ye karna, wo karna"? So long as you take that stand, ye gadbad hote rahega. Ye to meri chahiye. That's what my kids do to me. I don't know how it is for you. My daughter say, "Stop. You're talking to my daughter. She's 7 years old. Don't talk to her like you're talking from a parent. You want to talk to her, go down to 7 and talk to her. Then she'll play with you and understand you. She'll do what you want. If you talk to her like you're a grandfather talking to her, she's not going to listen to you." This is what my daughter tells me. So मैं आपको मेरी ये gift दे रहा हूँ. ये सच्चाई है. Can you go down and talk to your child the way he or she is in her age, in whatever way? Not condescending, not patronizing, but as though you're equal here. What is this inequality? I'm a parent and therefore I have wisdom and therefore this is how I should be. This is what I should say. This is wrong. This is right. Who the hell are you and I to say what is wrong or right here? Unless it is moral, unless she murders somebody or something where police will come, there's nothing which is, who am I to say? The child is saying this, there is something that's going on in the child. So why can't I go down and find out what's happening there? You want people to come to your level and understand you, but you're not willing to go to somebody else's level. This is कमाल की बात है. मुझे तो आप समझने नहीं हो, but मैं दूसरे को नहीं समझूंगा, because this is logic that defeats it. If you want to be understood, you goddamn have to understand somebody else also. Are you willing to do that? There is this famous saint called Francis of Assisi. He says, it is better in understanding than being understood. It is better in understanding someone than being understood first. So can I understand you, whether you are 50 or 40 or 20? Can I understand what's happening to you before I tell you what I need to be understood? Are we doing that to our children? Are we doing that to our whoever? And don't question me and say, am I doing it to my mother? I'm not, but I'm still telling you I'm struggling. I am trying.
Okay. Now we have Aanchal Jain who wants to ask a question. Can you unmute yourself and ask?
Yes, ma'am, but I don't have question, but I have my experience.
Go
Can
ahead.
I
Great.
share it?
Please,
Yeah, sure,
please.
please.
Actually, 1 year ago, I have adopted a child, and he was just 4 years old at that time when I have adopted him. And उसके बाद मैं उसको एक दिन बाद मैं डॉक्टर के यहाँ लेके गई for his vaccination. And doctor told me that कुछ मुझे symptoms लग रहे हैं इसके अंदर डाउन सिंड्रोम के. And उसने मुझे कहा कि मतलब आई वुड सजेस्ट कि एक बार आप ये करवा लो टेस्ट. तो मैंने कहा ओके मैं करवा लेती हूँ. उस टाइम तक मुझे ये भी नहीं पता था व्हाट इज डाउन सिंड्रोम. एंड ऑब्वियसली आई वाज वेरी अफ्रेड दैट कि डॉक्टर ने ऐसा कुछ बोल दिया. एंड रियली दैट स्टक्ड माय हार्ट at that time because I was struggling for a child for quite a long period of time. And I also had a child. He left us. Matlab he was no more, and that's why I have decided. Me and my husband decided to adopt a child. And honestly, we don't wanted a normal child. We just wanted a normal child in our life at that time. And when the report came in 10 to 15 days, I think, and the report was positive. Us time, matlab, I was just gone into the depression. And uske baad, matlab, but my husband told me, so what? I have adopted this child. That means this is mine. And that was the period, that was the time I was just stuck by his words. That what do you said? That उनको इतनी acceptance थी कि मैंने जिसको अपना बोल दिया, that means इसके सारे challenges मेरे हैं अब. So what कि if we just got a child, we should celebrate it. That's it. I was just stuck, and seriously, I lost just 4 kg in a day. And then again, my husband came over me. He supported me. He said, कि यार मतलब ये अपना ही है और चाहे इसको कुछ भी हो जाए, we have to take care of him. That's it. We'll do everything that we can do. और उनके कॉन्फिडेंस को देख के इनिशियल डेज में मैंने बिल्कुल एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया था. आई वुड से दिस. एंड उनके कॉन्फिडेंस को देख के मैंने एक्सेप्ट किया बाद में. मतलब आई हैव ट्रीटेड हिम एज अ नॉर्मल चाइल्ड ओनली. मैं सब कुछ उसके लिए नॉर्मली करती हूँ. आई हैव ऑलवेज मतलब अपडेटेड रही उस बात के लिए कि ये होता क्या है, होती क्या चीज है. व्हेन आई सर्च्ड अबाउट इट, आई हर्ड लॉट ऑफ thing about this thing, but anyhow मतलब जैसे भी करके मेरे को शायद 6 महीने में जाके वो खुशी मिली. फिर मैंने सेलिब्रेट किया. एंड दैट टाइम आई थिंक मैंने जब एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था, मैं वो चेंजेस अपने बच्चे में देख सकती थी. और सडनली आई रियलाइज आई गॉट अ गिफ्ट फ्रॉम अ गॉड. एंड दैट वाज अ टाइम कि वो भी चेंज हो गया. मेरा बच्चा भी एक्टिव हो गया, सब कुछ करता है 1 साल में. एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई फाइंड इट कि मैंने जब एक्सेप्ट किया एवरीथिंग, आई हैव सीन द चेंजेस इन माय बेबी. और अभी भी मैं यही सोच रही हूँ कि अगर मैंने इतनी सी माइंड चेंज करने से मेरे बच्चे में इतना चेंज आया, दैट मीन्स इट इज ऑल अबाउट मी. कि I should change myself, I should change my attitude, I should accept this child as a gift of God. और फिर मैं आगे बढ़ूं. And I really thankful to God कि I got such a lovely child to me. And now क्योंकि मुझ में वो acceptance आ गई, that's why I want to share this. Sorry मैं थोड़ा सा लंबा चली गई.
Beautiful, Aanchal. बहुत lovely story. I want to tell you something. मेरे एक टीचर ने मुझसे कहा कि adopted child और biological child में फर्क क्या है? Biological child पेट में grow होती है, adopted child heart में grow होती है. So your child is grown in your heart. God bless you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Lovely sharing, Achal. Sunil from Nepal wants to share something.
हाँ बोलिए.
सुनील जी, हाँ. सुनील जी, अनम्यूट करके आप शेयर कर सकते हैं.
हेलो.
हाँ जी, बताइए. हाँ जी. हेलो.
हेलो.
हाँ बताइए.
First of all, thank you so much for a wonderful session for Srinath sir.
Thank you.
Hello.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Hello.
हाँ जी.
Hello. Hello. हाँ, शेयर करना चाह रहा. Hello. Hello.
आपको सुना ही नहीं दे रहा है मेरे ख्याल में.
विशाली, tell him to speak.
Hello.
सुनील जी आगे बताइए, सुन रहे हैं.
हाँ सुनो ना, मैं बोला कि मेरे पास 4 ईयर का डाउन सिंड्रोम मेरा लड़की है, डॉटर है, और मैं इंडिया में रहते थे, और जिससे मेरे डॉटर का मैं नेपाल में किया है कि इस बच्चे को बहुत इग्नोर कर रहा है, तो मेरा वाइफ भी इग्नोर किया. उसके बाद मैं बच्चे को साथ में रखा, तो यहाँ का मेरा सोसाइटी लोग बोला कि कैसे इस बच्चे को साथ में रखोगे, कैसे इस बच्चे को केयर करोगे, ये बच्चा एबनॉर्मल है. तो मैं फाइनली डिसाइड किया कि नहीं, इस बच्चे का लाइफ है, फ्यूचर है, तो मैं इस बच्चे को लास्ट 1 ईयर से मैं ये सब केयर कर रहा हूँ. अभी आके इन दिस मोमेंट अभी इतना अच्छा प्रोग्रेस हुआ है कि लग रहा है कि मेरे लाइफ का सब चीज मेरे को अभी मिल गया है. तो मैं यही सोसाइटी में आके मैं जब ये फेस कर रहा हूँ, तब उन लोग बोला कि अरे क्या हो रहा है कि ये सब बच्चे के आगे पीछे इस, और आज बच्चा इतना. मैं मेरा एक्सपीरियंस एक छोटा सा एक्सपीरियंस मैं आपको शेयर किया मैडम.
थैंक यू सो मच सुनील जी.
ओके.
Achal Jain, you want to share again?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to? आदित्य गुप्ता. आदित्य गुप्ता, उन्होंने मैसेज भेजा है. My son is 15 years old. He is a Down syndrome child. He is always smiling, but I want to know how to judge my son in which field I should encourage him to move forward. I think this is not related to the topic. Sir, would you like to say something?
I really, Vishali, I don't think I'm competent. I have no understanding of that.
Vishali, I think this should be this question should be kept for another meeting.
Yeah. So आदित्य जी, हम किसी और प्रोग्राम में ये जवाब दे देंगे इसका. Anyone else who wants to ask a question or share something?
Well, Vishali ma'am, hi, this is Deepti Mathur, and I would want to share an experience. So this is about after a week when I lost my child with Down syndrome, and I went to my elder daughter's function in school, where I saw this child with Down syndrome. She was around 2 years old. And I asked her mother if she is a child with Down syndrome, and she said yes. And after that, we started talking. After few days and a few months, I got involved with the Down Syndrome Parents Society of Delhi, and we organized a camp, health camp there. And I insisted this lady to come to the camp to have experience how we are dealing with the children, and I also wanted her to meet Rekha Ma. So she came there with her husband for around like 15-20 minutes, And when I was talking to her later, I asked her, how was your experience? So she said that please do not insist me to come to these functions again, because I can't imagine my child being like those children who were present there. They can't talk, they can't walk. I can't imagine my child like that. And I was so surprised because I invited her to show her that how well and how good these kids are doing, and she took it all the way otherwise. This was a attitude that she carries. She was looking all the negative things while I called her to see all the positive there. So this is what I wanted to share about the attitude of people.
Thanks, Dipti. Sir, would you like to add something to this?
No, Vaishali, no. Thank you.
Rekhama?
It's all in the eyes of how people perceive things, Vishali. To me, when I look at a person, I always look at the positive areas, and that's how Bubbly has grown like that. And I tell parents, stop looking at the child not being able to do this. Look at how beautifully they are doing it. Whatever they do, just keep telling them that it's beautiful. Now, this particular parent, like Srinath says, we must be done with attitudes. But if they are there, they need help. And we continue to reach out to them because this is our own world. It's a different world. And one day she will realize that this is her world and she will come back to us. But we will wait because we don't force people. We don't tell anybody anything. We let you judge. But sometimes when you judge people, you can go wrong. So we are always there to caution them and tell them, wait, things will happen the way you want it to happen. And you will learn to deal with every situation. Honestly, it is about me, not about the others. If I am perfect, that I think I am, then I view the world as perfect. But don't ever misjudge people. Just help them through every situation. Stop being judgmental. That's the only line I have in my life. Don't be judgmental. Thanks, Vaishali.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma. We have a question from Ria. I'll read it out. I am always guilt-ridden of being a working mom and feeling always less for my daughters. First one is a 4-year-old with Down syndrome. How to keep my morale high? I feel I'm not doing justice here or at work. Sir.
Now, what is the name of the lady who's asked this question?
Ria.
Ria.
Ria. R-Y. R-I-Y.
Okay. I can only say how I'm affected by her question. How I'm affected by her question is that what is her assessment of herself? I mean, when she's saying all these things, if Ria, my request to you is to ask yourself, how do you see yourself? What is the image that you carry of yourself? From whatever I'm hearing you say, when you use words like I'm guilty, I'm ashamed, or whatever you're using, somewhere inside you, there is a belief that what is inside you is not okay. And my submission, my request to you is, can you first rediscover that whoever you are is the way you are? Because the minute you say, I feel guilty, see, guilt, shame is things that I bring on myself. Nobody brings it on me. Nobody can make me feel guilty until I want to feel guilty. I feel guilty because I have a certain image of myself, and this is what I need to protect. My request to you, Ria, is I have struggled with it all my life, having a certain image, but it doesn't help, because if I don't see value in myself, then everything which is negative around me will impact me. So my request to you is, can you start looking in small bits? I'm not saying you have to think of it largely. Can you start looking at the goods you are? Because the minute you start seeing what is good about those things that you've done, you will see that you're a great parent. You've done some brilliant things.
Hello? Sir, we can't hear you. I think we have lost contact.
Has he pressed the mute button?
No, it's frozen. So I think
He's gone offline.
Ask
probably
your
connectivity.
child, baby, what do you think of me, baby? And I can tell you, really, if you sit and ask her, when you ask your child, say, baby, mere bare mein, don't say what is it about me you don't like. What is it?
I think connectivity issues.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my request is, please, if a small favor, if you can sit today with your child and ask her or him, what is it about me that you like? What is it about me? Don't ask about what the child does not like, because then the Dobby list becomes long. Please ask, what is it? You will suddenly hear music that you've never ever heard in your life, songs that you've never heard. And the minute you start hearing that, you will see that the guilt is not coming from outside, but guilt is coming from within you. This is the only request I can make of you, because when you say, I feel guilty, these are things that nobody can help you other than yourself. And the only way you can help yourself is to listen to people telling you all that is good about you. And nobody better than your own child can tell you what is lovely about you. Please do this for me, Mom. Please ask your child, Ria. And I promise you, believe me, I'm saying this to you as a friend, as somebody who values you're asking this question. Ask and listen, and don't start immediately seeking explanation. Just listen with an open heart. And I promise you, you will hear things that you've never ever valued about yourself and realize that I have this in me. And after that, whether it's guilt, like mom ke jaise, it will melt, yaar, because that is who you are. You've obviously done some beautiful things which you're not willing to look at. You cannot be a better parent than you are for your child. Nobody can be better than who you are for your child. Yeah, you are there because she wanted you here. Life wanted you as her parent or his parent. Trust. Bharosa rakho, as Baba says, you must have faith here. You need Shraddha. And Shraddha is not with outside people. Shraddha is with myself. Shraddha and Sabri. Mere paas, I need faith and I need patience with myself. Can I patiently listen to what my child is telling me about me? Or am I trying to explain and say, no, this is not this, but I did this. Listen, na. Slow down, yaar. This COVID has to teach you to slow down, yaar. Please. Life is short. Celebrate what is good about you, Ria.
Srinath, can I answer that? If she ever asked her child, what do you have to say about me? You know what the child would look at her and say? Mama, I love you. That's all. That's all.
Yes.
Honestly, in a day, I think I hear it 150 times. Mama, I love you. That's all you want.
Because the problem is, I think sometimes, we ask our child, tell me what I didn't do right, or how would you want it done? All these are things which are, what do you like about me, baby? That's all you need to hear.
I love you. I love you, Ria.
Yeah, Ria, that's it.
Thank you, Rekha ma'am.
I just want to add to Ria ma'am, like I am Sukham from Jalandhar, Punjab. I have a 22-year Down syndrome child who's working at present. We are working, but I think so that helped him to grow up independently much earlier than the other children. When he saw us preparing for the next day, taking out our clothes and preparing for the next day, he started doing it on his own. So today when he is going out in the morning to work, in the evening, when I go to his bedroom, I see his clothes out for the next day. He is ready with his tiffins, with his water bottles, he's filling it up. And as a working parent, I think so we give more time to them to make up for the time which we have spent at work. So it is all good, all happiness, and our children do much better than maybe other parents if we are working. Ria ma'am, if that could help you.
Lovely. Very nice.
Vaishali, you have muted everybody.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Vaishali?
I'm sorry.
So no,
Yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead. I think Rekha would you like to say something, or Vaishali, would you like to say something? I think we've
Yeah.
exhausted
Hello?
questions and.
Yeah, Vishali, you take
Yeah.
over. I think we're running out of time now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll wind up. I don't see any more questions.
Hello?
Yeah, who's that?
Bhavna.
Yeah, Bhavna. Yeah, Bhavna, please.
Hi, I am Dr. Bhavna. I also have a son, 23-year-old with Down syndrome. I was listening to Sheena ji. He's very, very, very well explained how should we actually live ourselves and simultaneously bring up our children. And when I was listening to the question raised by Vicky and another gentleman I think from Singapore, they were asking whether we should actually declare that our children have Down syndrome or, kind of announce. I think the answer lies in what Shrinaji explained very well, that first we must fully accept who they are, fully accept them, include them, and then we will have the answer ourselves. Like if we are going to a party or something and we think we should announce or not announce or tell, we will know if the child is going to create or having some problem, and it will help by telling others that he or she has a problem, then it's fine. Otherwise you don't need to. Same at the workplace. If you think it's going to help you or your child while accepting it fully, what your child has, I'll give you an example. Like many children are not doing so well academically. They are, slow learners or maybe not good, but none of their parents announce there anywhere my child has this problem. He's bad in studies or something, neither at their workplace or nor wherever they go. So there is no need to tell, because it's sometimes like Vicky was asking that is there any guilt feeling that we feel that our child has Down, then we have to announce? No. If you accept it, what the child is, and you love them, accept them, include them very well, you will have the answers where to tell, where not to tell, and be happy about it. Like, I hope Vicky understands if he's there.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. And basically, I would just like to admit here and submit that there is no real undertone, negative undertone to.
I understand. No I fully understand.
Of course, you understand. Of course, knowing me and
of course
you
I
would
understand.
have. Yeah. But the only thing is, it's like my dilemma is, I don't think my child is vulnerable. Okay.
No, that is what I'm saying.
She might have.
Feel that it's going to help okay. Telling the people you are introducing her to, yes, it will help.
Yeah,
they will be able to understand more. Then yes, you must. But otherwise, there is no need to.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely.
And Shrinaji has very, very, very well explained all the 5 points which are actually crucial in bringing up our children. That accept our attitude, our everything was absolutely right. Very
and
well.
I'm waiting for Rekha Ma to pull my ears when I come back next time to Chennai.
Waiting. I am ready now.
Okay, I think it's time to wind up if we don't have any more questions. Is there a question? No. Okay. So, sir, I would like to thank you for this wonderful, wonderful session. You have actually touched the core that needs to be addressed. And at such a crucial juncture, when we all are facing a very typical situation, which is unlike ever before, and especially children sitting in their homes and parents all worked up with their problems, this is the time when we need to hear something really, really positive, and you have done just that. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It was a pleasure hearing you, and thank you all the parents for joining. Thank you the organizers, Down Syndrome Welfare Club. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Down Syndrome Federation of India for having this session, and hope to see you again, sir.
Thank you very
One more
much.
session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishali. Thank you, Srinath.
Thank you, Rekha Ma. Thank you, Rekha.
And I know, Srinath, you're going to be demanded. Everyone's going to call you every week, I think. We need more of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time. And thank you, Vaishali, for being such a lovely moderator.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
God bless you both. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.